There's a guy named Marcus. He works in IT support, makes about 60,000 a year. A decent, stable job, but a couple of years ago, he started feeling like he wasn't getting ahead fast enough. So he did what everyone tells you to do. He started a side hustle. Every evening after his day job, Marcus spent 3 hours doing freelance tech support for small businesses. Weekends too. Sometimes 5 or 6 hours on a Saturday. And the money started coming in. An extra $1,500 a month. Sometimes $2,000. On paper, Marcus was winning. He was hustling. He was grinding. He was doing exactly what all the productivity influencers tell you to do. But then something strange happened. 2 years later, Marcus finally sat down and calculated everything. Not just the money coming in, but the full picture. And what he found made him physically sick. After accounting for software subscriptions, extra taxes, meals he bought because he was too tired to cook, gas driving to client sites, equipment upgrades, and the fact that he was working an extra 20 hours a week, Marcus realized he was making about $11 an hour, less than half of what he earned at his day job. He had spent 2 years working himself into the ground for less than he could have made part-time at a grocery store. And here's the part that hurt the most. During those 2 years, 3 people at his company were promoted to senior positions. Positions Marcus would have been competitive for if he'd had the energy to take on high-visibility projects. Instead, he came in tired. Left exactly at 5. Did the bare minimum because all his energy went to his side work. He traded a potential $20,000 salary increase for $1,500 a month of exhausting labor. The math was brutal. And this is what I want to talk about today. Not to say side hustles are bad, not to tell you not to work hard, but to show you something almost nobody talks about. Most people who calculate their side hustle income are lying to themselves. Not intentionally, but because they only count the money coming in. They don't count everything that goes out. And when you run the real numbers, including visible and invisible costs, a lot of side hustles aren't just unprofitable, they're actively making you poorer. Let's start with the obvious costs. Say you're doing delivery driving in your spare time. You see $40 hit your account for 2 hours of work. $20 an hour, right? But then you pay for gas. $5 gone. Now you're at $17.50. Then there's vehicle wear and tear. Oil changes, tires, brakes, maintenance. Experts estimate this at about 50 cents per mile. If you drove 30 miles, that's another $15. Now you're at $10 an hour. But we're still not done. That $40 is gross income. You still owe taxes. Self-employment tax. Income tax. Maybe 30% gone. So now that $40 becomes $28. Minus gas. Minus vehicle costs. You just worked 2 hours for $8. $4 an hour, you could literally walk around your neighborhood picking up aluminum cans and make more. And that's just financial accounting. Now let's talk about unpaid time. 15 minutes getting ready, 10 minutes driving to a busy zone, 20 minutes waiting between orders, 10 minutes driving home. That's nearly an hour of unpaid time. So you didn't work 2 hours, you worked almost 3. Your effective pay just dropped even further, but the most damaging costs don't show up on spreadsheets at all. They're invisible. Every hour you spend on low-value work is an hour you're not spending on high-value growth. Marcus wasn't just losing sleep doing freelance tech support. He was losing time he could have spent learning cloud systems or cybersecurity, skills that would have made him far more valuable at his main job. This is opportunity cost, and it's the most ignored concept in personal finance. It's not just what you earn, it's what you don't earn because you're busy earning something else. If you spend 10 hours a week on gig work that nets you $100, that's $10 an hour. But what if those same 10 hours increased your primary income by $10,000 a year? That's almost $200 per week. Same time, completely different outcome. Here's why this trap is so powerful. Low-leverage side hustles feel productive. You see money coming in. You feel in control. You feel like you're doing something. In a world where wages feel stagnant, that feeling is addictive. But motion is not progress. And being busy is not the same as building wealth. Real wealth comes from leverage, not from finding more hours to sell, but from making your hours worth more. Leverage means building something once that pays you repeatedly. A skill, a system, an asset, content, automation. I know someone who spent 6 months learning automation scripting. No income during that time. Then she built a simple tool that automated invoice processing. She sold it for $50 a month. Within a year, she had 60 customers. $3,000 a month. From something she built once. That's leverage. Compare that to 40 hours of delivery driving. $400 maybe. And then it's over. Next week, you start again. One compounds, one doesn't. Side hustles often keep people trapped in linear income. If you don't work, you don't earn. And the exhaustion they create destroys the mental space needed to build anything better. Then there's cognitive load. Every side hustle adds decisions. Tracking expenses, filing taxes, managing customers, scheduling. Stress. Mental energy is finite. When you're depleted, you make worse decisions. You miss opportunities. You stop thinking long term. I've seen people miss promotions because they were too tired from driving at night. And then there's health. Chronic stress, sleep deprivation, relationship strain. These aren't abstract costs. They turn into medical bills, lost productivity, and long-term damage. You work more to get ahead and destroy the very asset that makes wealth possible. So how do you evaluate a side hustle honestly? First, calculate your true hourly rate. After all costs and all time. Second, ask what you're giving up. Third, look at trajectory. Does it scale? Does it compound? And finally, be honest. Are you doing this because it's profitable or because it feels productive? Marcus eventually quit his side hustle. It felt like giving up, but within a year he was promoted. $15,000 raise, better benefits, better trajectory. He made more by doing less because he shifted from low leverage grinding to high leverage growth. So ask yourself this: are you actually getting ahead or just getting more tired? Because they're not the same. The hardest part of building wealth isn't working harder, it's working differently. Sometimes the most profitable move is rest, learning, becoming more valuable. That's the only math that works long term. If this made you rethink how you spend your time, consider subscribing. I'll see you in the next one.